Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores of week 17 of this the 2020-2021 Premier League season. Now before we get on to this game week's predictions, let's have a quick look at how well we got on in week 16.
So last week had a pretty shocking week. It only had 5 points with one perfect result, that being Burnley's beat Sheffield United 1-0.
And I came away with 8 points, Nathan, a little bit better than my previous weeks, actually coming away with 2 perfect scores, which was Chelsea Villa 1-1 and Man United beating Wolves 2-1. Representing the viewers last week was Simon Ford, and Simon came away with 6 points and one perfect score, being the Chelsea Villa 1-1 draw. But last week's top scorer with 11-point haul was 0-1-0 Foster, and they came away, as I said, with 11 points with 3 perfect scores. And if we just turn our attention to the overall table now, top of the tree yet again is Mahmoud Conte on 114 points now. Last time out he or she got 7 points. I'm up to 20th now, Nathan, on 90 points. You're up to 29th position on 85 points, and Owen Foster, who was top scorer last week, has leapt up to 37th position. If we just run down the list as we normally do, this Simon Ford, of course, with a 6-point haul up to 45th position. Let's have a look. George in 54th position, Sanders in 55th position, Richie Wilden in 73rd position, and all the way down to 206 positions. So there we are. We've all got it to do, really. David Redcliffe is now 4 points behind Mahmoud. But that is the table for another week. Let's see if we can move up the table in game week 17. But yeah, let's just crack on with this week's predictions.
First up, we're going to start with the Friday games, and starting with the 5:30 on BT between Everton and West Ham. Now, Everton, game called off this week because of the demonetised virus, meant to play Man City. That did not go ahead last week, so they've had a week off this week. Whereas West Ham grinding out a 0-0 draw against Southampton, I thought they would have probably had something there. West Ham improving their form as of late, still haven't won in 5 matches, but getting loads of draws as well. Whereas Everton in full position with great form, and especially considering that they've had an extra week. So I fully expect Everton to win this one, and I'm going to say 1-0.
Yeah, I fully expect Everton to win this one as well, because of that extra rest. West Ham not in the best of form recently. Before, I think, lose these 6 matches. Defensive wise, they're looking good, but they are leaking goals. However, they did get a clean sheet against Southampton. Of course, Everton, though, fine form, as you said, Nathan. 4 wins on the bounce, looking very good defensively. Only conceded 1 goal now in their last 4 matches. At home, New Year's Day, want to get off to a good start for the new year. I'm going for a 2-0 victory to the Toffees. Next up on Friday at 8 o'clock on Sky Sports in the evening is Manchester United against Aston Villa. Possibly the game, possibly the game of the game week. This one, Man United up to 2nd position. Who would have thought earlier in the season that the Red Devils would be so high? Only lost 3 matches this season, winning 3 of their last 4 matches. Okay, slightly fortuitous to come away with that victory against Wolves, but they kept on going, didn't give up, and Rashford, of course, saving all 3 points for Manchester United against Wolves. Aston Villa as well, they've picked up recently, find themselves in 5th position, getting a good point away against Chelsea, although Chelsea haven't been in the best form themselves. But prior to that, getting good victories against Crystal Palace and West Brom. Difficult one to predict, this one. Both teams pretty fluid at the moment. Aston Villa, their midfield have the likes of Barkley, Ghazi. I think he scored something like 5 goals in 5 matches. Grealish, McGinn smashing the crossbar in the last match. Unfortunate not to score, but I think this is going to be tight, exciting. But I'm just going to go for a 2-1 victory to the Manchester United in this one.
Interesting. I've actually got exactly the same here. Aston Villa, while they are in good form, you just have to look at Man United. The only criticism I have of Man United at the moment is they're sort of lacking a true striker up there, because they're playing with, Martial and Rashford. You could really say that they're wingers in a way. You do have Cavani, but then again, he is getting on a little bit. He's great for coming off the bench, but you need that striker, that striker who can actually play in a full target man role, that can play a full 90, not coming off the bench like Cavani, where he can't really play a full game and getting just a load of goals. Bringing in like an Andy Cole that you had from a few years back, a Wayne Rooney or someone like that. That's what Man United are really missing. But yeah, Man United should have this one down to a T. I'm going to say 2-1. Moving on to the Saturday fixtures. First up, we have the 12:30 on BT between Spurs and Leeds. What a win for Leeds last week, winning 5-0 against West Brom. Safe to say the West Brom didn't turn up in that one. And then Spurs, they're going to have an extra week's rest because they had their game against Fulham called off because of the demonetised virus, of course. Now, this one could go either way. Leeds could turn up. They couldn't. Leeds could turn up. They might not turn up. But it's the defence that I'm just questioning at the moment. I mean, there have been some heavy defeats for Leeds recently as well, letting in goals. Letting in 6 against Man United. Keeping 2 clean sheets though recently, which good on them. But before that, leaking loads of goals. So it has been shown up there. But I don't know. I still have doubts about it. But with Tottenham having that extra rest, Son, Kane, Moura should be on top, so I'm going to say 2-1 to Spurs.
Yeah, tough one to call this one. It could either be a very low scoring affair, or it could be goals galore. Both teams like to counteract against the sort of another team who likes a lot of possession. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. As you said, this is on at 12:30 on Saturday, Nathan. Difficult one to call. Spurs have had the rest. Mourinho is going to want to get the upper hand over Bielsa in this one, and I think it will. I think it's going to be a Mourinho masterclass, so I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 park the bus victory. Next up, we got Crystal Palace against Sheffield United. This takes place at 3 o'clock on Sky Sports as well. Crystal Palace going through a bit of a bad run. Okay, they did have a draw last time out against Leicester at home, and Leicester have been very good on the road. But last season Sheffield United picked up all 3 points. 6 points out of the 6 available against Palace, winning both ties 1-0. Sheffield United still losing, just by the odd goal. And I've been watching them recently, and they're doing better than they should be picking up points. But again, they're not gaining anything. And I think Crystal Palace will take heart from that draw against Leicester, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 home victory to Crystal Palace. Zaha, what a volley.
Oh yeah, what a goal that was. But yeah, Sheffield United, as you say, they are officially the worst team in the Premier League by the new year, of course, by the January transfer window. Still haven't won. Lowest points haul, lowest wins total as well. Worst start to the season in the Prem we've ever seen since 1992, quite frankly. They need to turn it around if they want to have a chance of survival, even though it's not looking likely. Whereas their opponents, Palace, just inconsistent. They're always rubbish around Christmas. They had a terrible week last week with those 2 losses. But they're coming up against a Sheffield United team who don't look like winning. They are showing up at the back, yes, but they're just not getting the goals into the back of the net and not grinding out the results or the draws. So I'm going to say a 2-0 Palace win with them keeping a clean sheet.
Same as me again.
Indeed. Next up, we've got the 5:30 on Saturday between Brighton and Wolves. Now, Brighton, 17th at the moment, struggling as anything. Haven't won in over 6 games, losing last time out as well. To Arsenal 1-0. Quite a shock there, really, you could say, especially with where Arsenal are on the table, 13th. Mind, they've won their last 2 matches. But they're losing to teams that they should be beating around them, the likes of West Ham, drawing with Sheffield United of all teams, drawing with Fulham. what is going on there, Brighton? Really slowing down as of late. And they're coming against a Wolves side who are just inconsistent as anything. They've lost 4 out of their last 6, only winning 1 against Chelsea and drawing against Spurs. They're beating the teams around them, and they have had... But to be fair to Wolves, they have had a very tricky one. I mean, they've played Liverpool, Villa, Chelsea, Tottenham and Man United as well, who are in fine form. But Wolves, Nuno's going to want them to get back into it. I think this will be very, very narrow, 1-0.
Yeah, I think Wolves are going to come away with a victory in this one as well. A little bit unfortunate against Manchester United. They did have their chances, couldn't take them, and Manchester United popped up in the end, of course, took all 3 points. I think they're going to have a little bit too much for Brighton. Okay, Brighton play this nice style of football, however, it's not proven dividends, only winning 2 games this season, I think.
I mean, the thing is, there's one way we're playing pretty, but then again, if you're not getting the results, then what's the point?
That's right. They're getting draws here and there, and
they're not getting wins.
But against Fulham, Sheffield United, West Ham, what are they going to do against Wolves? I can't see anything than a Wolves victory, but I do expect the Seagulls to score in this one. Get off to a good start to the new year with a goal. However, I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Wolves in this game. Next up at 8 o'clock on BT Sport on Saturday, the evening kickoff, we've got West Brom, the hapless West Brom, against Arsenal. Sam Allardyce has come in and he hasn't really he did get that point against Liverpool, but recently they have been getting thumped, not looking good. They could be joining Sheffield United in the Championship next season unless there's a miracle that takes place. Coming up against Arsenal scoring now, getting 2 victories on the bounce, Chelsea and Brighton away. They did look quite good going forward. I'm still see they are a bit susceptible at the back, but come on, they're playing West Brom, the baggies in this one. Maybe
no defence, no scoring at all.
Maybe Big Sam's gonna try and do something with that defence like they did against Liverpool, although Liverpool was shocking, you could say, that day, like they were a little bit against Newcastle this evening, or earlier this evening. So I'm going to go with Arsenal again, keep the kettle boiling, as it were, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory to Arsenal. And Bamiyang missing a goal on the line. It was just cut out rather. So good defending.
Typical Arsenal. But with West Brom, I just can't predict them for anything until Big Sam, as I've said in the last few weeks, that he gets backed in this transfer window, he gets the players in that he wants, and then he'll be able to start turning the results around, because it's not his team, and he needs the signings in order to be able to change things around, make those minor tweaks that he always makes and push them up the table. But they don't have that. They don't have really anyone up front to score either.
No, and is it
they're not getting any goals.
You see Sayers with his Sawyers with his back pass, which turned into a goal. I think that was at 1-0. But terrible, just lack of concentration there, or not knowing where the position of the goalkeeper was. So.
But we just got to wait and see whether the board will back him. I mean, they didn't back Bilic in the summer. Will they back Big Sam when they need him now to stay in the league? I think they really should. But West Brom, I don't know. I think Big Sam's going to do it again.
Yeah.
1-1. I'm not even going to explain. 1-1.
Okay, brilliant.
Anyway, moving on to Sunday midday, we got Burnley Fulham, another difficult one. 16th versus 18th. Burnley getting back into it. 3 wins out of their last 6. Getting a good one last time around against Sheffield United, 1-0. It was narrow. Sheffield United really parked the bus and put some good defending there, but Burnley were able to grind out the result. They've been grinding out results against good teams as well, whereas Fulham just drawing against everyone at the moment, not scoring much either. They scored 4 goals in their last 6 games, not scoring much either, and that's only 2 goals in their last 4 as well, which isn't good. But Burnley, they should be able to get through that Fulham defence, even though it is tightening up. Fulham are just struggling to score as well, which is completely opposite of what their problems were in 2018-19. So I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 Burnley. Sean Dyche masterclass.
Exactly the same. I predicted 1-0 Burnley in their last match. Got all 3 points for that victory against Sheffield United. I'm going to go exactly the same. Again, Fulham, of course, game called off on Wednesday evening because of the demonetised virus, obviously. Hopefully this game will go ahead. I'm going to go exactly the same as you, Nathan, 1-0. Next up on Sky Sports at 2:15 on Sunday is Newcastle at Leicester. Newcastle grinding out a draw with Liverpool at home 0-0. Salah had his chances. We didn't put them away. And Firmino as well had his chances. Callum Wilson had a little chance as well, a bit of a half chance for me there. But coming up, Leicester, very good away from home, find themselves in third position, or they didn't actually gain victory over Crystal Palace, who were in
they should have done that
poor form. But I don't think Vardy played in that one. Must have given him a little bit of rest. Harvey Barnes looked very good though on the day. So Newcastle, okay, they are in 14th position. Maybe they'll look to this one. Maybe they'll be a little bit more open against Leicester and try and force the game a little, and that could play into the Foxes' hands. So I'm going to go for an away victory to Leicester in this one, and I'm going to go 2-0.
Yeah, I've actually gone slightly different. I think Newcastle will get a goal. They are at home, of course, even though Leicester have been much better away. But I don't know, I can just see Newcastle nicking one, probably in way of a Callum Wilson or a Miguel Almiron or something like that. But Harvey Barnes, with his form, been scoring all the time recently. I think he'll probably get one, and if Vardy's there, he should get one as well. I need it from a fantasy team. Yes, he's staying as captain, guys. 2-1. 2-1 Leicester. Moving on, one of the matches of the weekend, 4:30 between Chelsea and Man City. Man City getting a rest, of course, because of the demonetised virus, even though I think they were the ones who caused the little outbreak there. And then Chelsea, shocking form recently, 2 wins in their last 6, drawing last time around as well to Aston Villa. Didn't really... I could see that happening because of the way that Villa have been playing recently, but Chelsea should have really got something out of that. But they just got to improve, and just they should get back into it now after Christmas. 1 win in 5. Lampard sorted it out for them, but Man City should absolutely walk through this one with the amount of rest and the preparation they've been able to get with this. 3-1.
Yeah, Man City winning 4 of the last 6 matches, Nathan. Chelsea in different form, although in that match against Villa, I think it was Pulisic had a really good chance, shot wide. So although Villa had their chances as well, good game this one. Lampard against Pep, but I think Man City's form over Chelsea a little bit shocking at the moment, although Chilwell's playing well. I'm going to go for a narrow 2-1 away victory to the Citizens in this one. And finally, the last match of this game week,
first Monday night football of the season.
Of the year. On Sky Sports, of course, at 8 o'clock is Southampton against Liverpool. Now, Liverpool have only won 2 of their 8 away matches this season, as we've seen earlier last night, as we're recording this at 12:30 midnight GMT on what day is it today?
Doing it late.
Thursday.
New Year's Eve as well, guys.
Thursday morning. Then Southampton at home. Southampton have been playing well, although they haven't won in the last 5. They've won one victory in the last 5 matches, so a lot of draws in there and losing to Manchester City. Liverpool, as I said, two wins out of 8 on the road. Missing a lot of chances. I'm going to go for a draw. I think it's my only draw of the game week. I'm going 1-1.
Interesting. I'm actually interested. I actually think Liverpool will probably sneak it in the last few minutes. I'm saying this because I do think that Southampton might nick something here, and they are prone to getting it, especially the teams above them. But I'm going to really play it safe here. I think Liverpool will want to get the year off to a flying start as well. Are on national TV at 8 o'clock on Sky. Salah will want to get his shooting boots back on and really push for the new year. So probably 89th minute or something ridiculous, 2-1.
You'd think so, especially with them drawing their last 2 matches. Prior to that, they won a couple, draw. So it's sort of win, draw, isn't it? It is the obvious one, but I'm going for a draw. So that concludes our predictions for week 17 of this 2020-2021 Premier League season. Now, as usual, I'm going to leave a template of these fixtures in the description. If you want to play at home, join us in the league table, get yourself up that league table, then make sure you leave your predictions in the comment section. I'm going to be picking somebody at random as well, probably late on New Year's Eve. Maybe I'll do that about 8, 9, maybe early New Year's Day, probably tea time-ish on New Year's Eve, mid-evening perhaps, but yeah, I'll pick somebody at random. Then also, Nathan, before we go, what is your nap of the week?
I was just thinking through this one. As you know, I never want to go for anything obvious here, but I'm going to go Brighton Wolves this week.
Yeah. I'm going to go for an Everton home win. They're in fine form to me. West Ham, okay, picking up draws, tailing off slightly at the moment, not playing the best, missing lots of chances. But I think Everton, defensively solid, going forward, okay. Last time out when they did play, it was a narrow victory, but yeah, I think they'll dispatch the Hammers in this one. And Nathan, before we go as well, is there anything you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to say to our viewers?
Yes, Happy New Year, of course. Bit of a big week on the channel as well. On Friday, 2 uploads. One will be at midday. And also one will be coming out later in the night. That'll be the Cardiff Rotherham match preview mystery upload at midday. If anyone can guess what it is, guys, make sure you're at the channel on midday.
Will Cardiff be playing? Because I've heard it could be off.
Yes, I've heard it could be off as well, but it is very touch and go. Yeah, I've seen places where it will be off. Other places are saying it'll be on. Cardiff City at the moment, according to their YouTube and their website, are saying that it will be on because they scheduled a match preview on there and stuff. So it'll be touch and go to the last minute whether Rotherham will be playing. So we have to make sure. But come on, City, for that. Let's start the new year off best. But make sure you're there, guys. Sub to my channel, link in description below. And also, if there is no stream at 3 o'clock on Saturday, then I will be on the Dugout Football channel for the first podcast of the new year. Make sure you're there, guys.
Make sure you watch that and tune in. Yeah, lots of videos coming up in the new year. Hopefully it's going to be better, a better year 2021 than 2020. So yeah, from myself and Nathan, have a healthy and happy new year. But for now, we bid you farewell and we'll see you in the next video.